Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 13 of Vlogmas. Before we get started, I did want to update you on where my reading is at, as always. So I did finish and complete Someone Like You. It took a turn I was definitely not expecting for a Sarah Dessen book. I mean, I guess that you could expect it, but I thought there would be more romance, but I really liked the aspect of such a strong friendship, so that was nice and like a nice twist to what I'm normally reading from Sarah Dessen. But it was still really not my favorite. I think I gave it 2.5 or 3 stars. So, yeah. And then I also read to page 151 of Descendant of the Crane. The trial is getting a little more exciting now, so that's good. And then I hope to make it to at least page 300 by the end of this weekend. And I also picked up With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I'm now on page 125, and I'm enjoying the shortness of the chapters because it's easy to flip through with the little short bursts of chapters, and it's getting a little bit better. It's not saying the word baby girl as much, so I'm already enjoying it just because of that. And there are aspects of it that I really enjoy. I like learning more about Puerto Rican culture. I like that there's like a little bit of Spanish mixed in, and it doesn't explain what the Spanish is. I think that's a really nice touch, especially for representation, because English doesn't cater to other languages, so I like that this book isn't catering to English necessarily in that way. I mean, it is in English, but there are touches of Spanish that don't necessarily make you understand what they're saying. I took a little bit of Spanish in school, so I understand some of it, but it doesn't impede on the story at all to not know what it's saying, so I do like that. And I like the friendship and the potential romance, so it's a pretty good book so far. So I'm about to head up to Anthony's. I do know that I'm taking With the Fire on High, and I am going to finish this weekend. That is a task I must complete. And then I'm also taking The Summer I Turned Pretty, the first book in the Jenny Han Summer trilogy. I'm hoping to read some of this, and then also I'm taking the 2 mangas for just a lighter read in case I get a little too heavy on these books. If I need something easier to read, I have those. And then of course Descendant of the Crane is an ebook on my phone, so I will have that as well. And then for the write-up, I have a book, I forget the name of it, I requested it a while ago. It's like a book about struggling with adulthood, so I'm interested to see how that goes because it's not a typical book I would read as far as like being nonfiction, so we'll see how it goes. But now for today's video, I did want to do books that I wish I had read in 2019. So I have a little stack here I'm gonna go through. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books big, and these are books that I did not mention in my end of the year book tag. I tried to pick separate books, so these are 6 books that I wish I had read in 2019, and I still don't plan to pick up in 2019, so potential 2020 reads, if you will. Now I'm sure I could look at my bookshelves and pick quite a few more books that I wish I had read, but these are probably top priority that I wish I had read in 2019. So let's get started. The first book is Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This tells the story of a space cadet team, and it already sounds good just from that. I think there's a war, and that's really all I need to know because that's already like one of my favorite tropes, so yeah. Also, Aurora Burning, the sequel, is coming out next year, so I would like to at least read this in 2020 before that comes out, so I can be excited. I love Jay Kristoff's writing. I loved Illuminae, which was also by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, so this will definitely be a book read in 2020, as will the rest of these books. Another book I wish I had read in 2019, just purely based off of hype. I wish I had read Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is a story about an American boy whose mother is the first woman president of the United States, and he meets a prince, and it's essentially a enemies to lovers relationship from what I've heard. So it just sounds super up with the times and super good on representation, and it's a rom-com, so it should be a lighter read, and I've heard so many good things about this book, so I really wish I had read it in 2019. The next book I wish I had read in 2019 is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This tells the story of a world in which death has been eradicated, so therefore the only way to keep the population kind of maintained is for these people called scythes to go around and actually kill people manually. Manually? Yeah, we'll go with manually, I don't know. But it sounds super, super good. A lot of my favorite people to watch and people I have very similar tastes with have loved this book. Thunderhead, the sequel, has already been released, and The Toll, the third book in the series, has been released. So I'm a little bit behind on this series, so I would really love to read this next year, but I wish I had read it in 2019. Next, also a very hyped book, is Girls of Paper and Fire. From what I've heard, this tells the story of a king or some kind of leader who only takes in girls who have a way with paper or something like that, and one of the girls actually has a way with fire. I could be completely wrong. I don't know really much about this book. I just know super popular, a lot of good things said about it, and I also bought Girls of Storm and Shadow, so I need to stop buying sequels before I actually read the first book in the series, but Girls of Storm and Shadow was so pretty and I couldn't help myself, so I do want to read the actual first book in the series. Yeah. Next is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. I did plan to read this in October, and I was super excited about it when I received it, and I just never picked it up for some reason. I was in a huge reading slump in like October, November, so I'm really sad I didn't pick this up. It tells the story of the 12 Dancing Princesses as a retelling, like a dark retelling. It's so intriguing, and it's so awesome. I mean, Stephanie Garber even said Step Inside a Fairy Tale as a review to this book, and I love Stephanie Garber's work, so I want to read it so badly, and I just didn't, and I'm so mad at myself. And then the last book in this short list of books that I wish I had read in 2019 is The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen. This tells a story of something to do with bone magic and teeth magic, I think. I don't remember, but it sounds super good, so yeah. So essentially this was just a list of books that I saw overhyped in 2019 and I wish I had read. So that's pretty much where we stand with that, and the moral of the story is that there's too many books and not enough time as usual. So these are books that I do plan to pick up in 2020. But yeah, that was the books I wish I had read in 2019. So let's just go ahead and do day 13 of my thing here. See who we get today. So we got is this? I think this is Madame Maxine. It threw me off for a second because she's not like, well, I guess she is taller, but she's not like clearly taller. So I think this is Madame Maxine. And if Madame Maxine is in here, that definitely means Hagrid's in here, right? Right? Okay, I just need Hagrid to be in here so badly. And I was thinking about it, and I really want Luna to be in here, but now that I'm thinking about it, she's not introduced till book 5, so she probably won't be in this, which makes me kind of sad. But at least Ginny's in it, and fingers crossed for Hagrid. So that was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will check in with you tomorrow for my most anticipated releases of 2020. Bye, friends!